time. Okay. So any question from the floor? A quick question to both of our speakers. Okay. Right. So may I invite our director to present tokens of appreciation to our speakers.
Yes. Yes. Just it. All right.
Okay, so we hope you find these two sessions very useful for your study. And if you still hesitate on what fields in particular, please visit faculty webpage for more information. Or if you liked, if you come to Associate Professor David to give him information that you're really interested in to be named with electrical engineering, computer engineering, and so on. So we are happy to arrange some other talk for you. Okay. So after the coffee break, we'll come back for one more session on ready for work and job opportunities, where you find information. Okay. So it's time for coffee break now. Tea and coffee will be served outside. Thank you. And do come back in 10 minutes, please. Be on time. Miss Chayapa, huh? ไม่ออก Oh, sorry, change in plan. Okay, since we have only limited time, staff would give you the coffee. You'll be able to decide if you're ready for work yet, and what would be the trend of engineering workforce. So our speaker today will give you tips and advice to develop successful career and what the employer expects from you as engineer. Today we are very pleased to have Mr. Nontawat Phumchusi with us. He's a senior executive from Accenture, Thailand. Mr. Nontawat, he's in charge of telecommunications and media practice for Accenture in Thailand. And he's responsible for business development, solution delivery, and project management for clients in his portfolio. So please welcome our speakers.
Okay, thank you very much, and it's always good to be back. Again, my name is Nontawat. I'm currently a partner at Accenture based out of Bangkok, and currently I'm responsible for telecom and media clients for Accenture in Thailand. Just before I start talking about the business world that you guys will be go out and facing a lot of challenges and a lot of expectations out of you, just a few minutes on who Accenture is and why we are here today. Accenture is a global consulting, outsourcing, and a technology company. We are listed in New York Stock Exchange with more than $20 billion revenue. Okay, currently we have about 230,000 people around the world and spread over more than 50 countries. But in Thailand, we started our business since 1978, which is quite a while ago, before most of you were born. And we currently have about 800 people in Thailand. So I would say we are the largest international consulting company based in Thailand at the moment. Myself, I joined Accenture since 1995, which is about 17 years already. I graduated from here, same as what you guys is going to be, but a long time ago. I graduated, I think if I remember correctly, it could be in 89 or something like that, 89 or 90s. So that's, the world is different that time and what you are going out to see. So that's the topic that I would like to cover in the next 30 minutes or so. I'm open for it, any kind of questions that you may have. You can stop me anytime. If you have any comments or any questions, and I can try to answer those, okay? So I said, what I want to talk about today is how the world has changed. And of course, the expectations on all of us in this room, all the, soon-to-be new engineers, all those expectations would change accordingly. This is something that in Accenture or in a lot of companies, we call this a multipolar world. So I'll tell you what it means by that, right? If you look back in the past, right? For example, when I graduated, if you look at let's say, in the early 90s, when we talk about, power play in the world, people talk about, large countries, especially, the US, Japan, Russia. Of course, in the past, if during the Cold War, the world had actually two polars, right? The US and the communists, the Russia. Okay, nowadays, the world has changed. And if you look around today, we are in 2012, or if you look out a little bit more in the future, we've been hearing a lot more of our neighboring countries. For instance, China, India, or even countries like Indonesia, right? So if you look at some statistics that I'm showing here, I don't want to be, too detailed or too much into the PowerPoint, but just to highlight the key facts here that the world's biggest economies will no longer be the US or Japan anymore. But as you can see, China, it's going to be the world's largest economy. And that's, if you look at the statistics, right, we're talking about 10 years or so in the future, and we don't need to wait for that long, because if you read the news frequently, you already sense the change in the world power. If you look at the news, for instance, last week, if you follow the news, the US say that nobody in the world should buy oil from Iran. Then India said, I don't care. I will continue to buy oil from Iran. I don't want to listen to you guys anymore. So the US, you used to be the biggest country in the world, not anymore. I'm not listening to you. I'm also as big. I may be even bigger than you in the next few years. So this is something that the perception of the world populations are really changing. And that you may feel that, oh, this is something that, has nothing to do with us. It actually does. And it really has a direct impact to the world that you are going to face in the very near future. If I try to summarize how the world has changed or is about to change, and what would be a key few things that we can see as the impact to people like us, all the engineers like us, or the new engineers like you guys. This is a few things that we can summarize. First of all, talent. The way that companies, even local companies, international companies, the way they are looking for talents will change. Okay? The company will no longer only look for local talents, because the world is opening. In Accenture, for instance, we have 230,000 people around the world. Majority of our people is in India. Although our company started as a US company, but majority of the people are now Indians. And but our business in India is not that large, but the reason that we have the largest pool of people in India because we use people in India to serve clients in the US or Europe. And that's what I'm trying to say, that companies will not look for talents only where their business is, but they will look for talents anywhere in the world that they can find the right skills and the right cost. Accenture in Thailand now, I have a large number of people serving clients in the US and Singapore and not in Thailand, but they are sitting in my office in Rama 4, just right here. But they are doing work for, Singaporeans, they're doing work for the Germans. So this actually has two impacts to people that will be graduated, in the next few months or few years. The good thing is you have more opportunities, right? You don't only look for jobs that will serve your clients, here in Thailand or even in ASEAN. There will be a lot of companies reaching out to you to serve their businesses, maybe in the US, in Africa, in Europe. That's the positive thing that, you have more opportunities. But on the other hand, what's going to happen is that Thai companies will no longer, limited to a resource or, talent pools only in Thailand. But Thai company will also go out to look for something that makes more sense for them, basically. Especially if AEC is coming up, ASEAN economy in 2015, that will open up a lot of new things, right? The different way of taxing, so on and so forth. And that will change the way local companies looking for talents. So you will see a large company in Thailand, for instance, PTT already gone regional, if not global. A lot of our large company, SCG, PTT, those big companies, as you can see, PTT is already in Fortune 500, they're already gone internationally. So when they look for talent, it's not going to be limited to Thais, right? So those are the people that you are competing with. When you go out to try to find a job, you are not only competing with people just graduated from local universities, but you are competing with people around the world, or even people in ASEAN. But again, the good thing is you have more opportunities, right? The good thing about you yourself, you have better opportunity that I had in the past because you can create your own job sometimes. People said, Gen Y, people like people in your age actually you can create job opportunities that didn't exist even 5 or even 3 years ago. I have a friend, not a friend at my age, but younger friend, graduated from here a few years back, not long ago. He told me that he just got married and moved to Pai in Mae Hong Son. I said, "What are you doing? Are you just running?" He said, "Just running a coffee shop." I said, "Hey, you graduated from computer engineering, and you just selling coffees in Pai, 3 months a year, and that's all you do?" He said, "No, actually, that's what his wife is doing. But what he is doing is actually developing iPad and iPhone applications, based in Pai." And he said, "Pai is the perfect place because it has the best infrastructure. It has, 3G coverage and not many people using it. So he got a very good speed, and, it has a large international developers community in Pai, surprisingly, doing that same thing." Right? So that basically showing that, he doesn't wait for a company, and apply for a job. He creates a job opportunity for himself. He just go out, be whatever he wants, do his own things. So that's another perspective of this. There is the internationalization that, you can find international job opportunities. You compete with international talents. You can create your own job opportunities as well. So that's one thing that I want you to keep in mind, that this is changing, and you're going to see more and more of this. when I started my career in Accenture in '95, my colleagues that I worked with, majority of them are Americans at that time. Nowadays it has changed. My colleagues majority now are Indians, Chinese, very little to American or Europeans. So, I've seen that change, and you'll see a lot of those. So I'm very glad to see that, our engineering faculty has international program like this. I just mentioned that to Ajahn Atasid and Ajahn Tasana just a while ago, that I'm really glad to see that Chulalongkorn has see the importance of having the international program like this. And we actually have quite a number of people from this program working for Accenture at the moment, and we are very, very happy with what we've seen. So congratulations for you guys. I think you are in a perfect place and ready to go out. That's about talent. The second thing that we have seen changes a lot, it's regarding new consumers. So as you know, in the previous slide, we talked about US and Europe as our largest economies, but that's changing to this part of the world. And that is what we are talking about here. There are a lot of consumers, new consumers in emerging countries like China, India, and closer to us, Indonesia. All those large countries, we are talking about billions of people. People that in the 10, 20 years ago really had not much to spend. But nowadays it's different. If you look at the sales of iPhone or iPad in China, the sales of automobiles in China, it's really the largest growth in the world. And that's where we are talking about new consumers. And the more important thing is, this world is driven by consumers more and more. If you look at some statistics like IT spending, right? 5 years ago, and I don't know, hundreds of years before that, IT spending, it's all about enterprise and how much enterprise are really spending buying IT technologies. But that has changed. Nowadays, consumers are spending more money on IT, a lot more than what enterprise did in the past. So what we are doing today, what companies are innovating or creating, it's always about what the consumers are looking for. So when you go out and work for any kind of companies, it's going to be the same where you wear two hats, right? You are the employees, and you are also the consumers that actually driving the company's direction. Okay, that's where the world has really changed. Another example I can give, closer to me, it's my own company, Accenture, right? In the past, the companies always say, the policy, we have the security policy, you can only use the laptop that I gave you, nothing else. We will not allow any access from anything else except this one laptop that I give you. But that has changed. Nobody carries laptop anymore except me today. But everybody, as you can see, all the tablets, iPhone, even BlackBerry is not much anymore. You got people say, I don't want to use laptop. It's too heavy. It doesn't make sense. I only check my mail. Why do I need to carry this heavy laptop? I just need my mobile device. I need my iPhone, and I can do my business all day. And with that, right, Accenture has changed the policy and say, okay, fine. From now on, I support iPad. I support iPhone. I support Android. And that's something that I didn't even imagine many years back, that one day an international company that it's so strict about security would allow, would follow what employees want. But that has changed, right? We are driving the technology. We are driving the company's direction. And the next thing that I also want to touch about is about innovation. Okay, of course, people talk about